If you know, you know. Now, we all know Ryan Garcia signed a 5-year extension with Golden Boy. In doing so, Oscar De La Hoya is planning on getting Ryan Garcia a $700 million contract, either with DAZN or any other network. Now, that's twice the amount that Canelo Alvarez received for signing with DAZN for 10 fights for 5 years, with a Rocky Fielding as a bonus fight. So that being said, Ryan Garcia has a lot to live up to if he's planning on being in that position. I mean, Canelo Alvarez put in work for like 13 years before he got into that position, where he was able to land on the second biggest contract in the sport of boxing. So for Ryan Garcia to do the same, he gonna have to do what Oscar De La Hoya did, at least. Get in with the best, lose or win, you're going to have your supporters, but you're going to have to at least be competitive, because the big fights that Oscar De La Hoya lost, he was always competitive in them fights, or he was in the fight. Obviously, Hopkins and Manny Pacquiao put a whooping on him, but that was toward the later part of his career, and the Hopkins fight, he had to move up to 160. Now, that being said, Ryan Garcia has to beat multiple world champions in order to be in that position, because it don't matter how many social media followers you have. It wouldn't transcend to boxing till you beat a couple world champions and prove yourself as a fighter, because your followers won't be able to fight for you. You're going to be in that ring alone. So is Ryan Garcia capable of doing so? That's the $1 million question. And it was actually Oscar De La Hoya who stated that your social media followers is cool, but you're going to have to prove yourself inside that ring for it to transcend to boxing, because there are these big fights and these mega fights that's going to make Ryan Garcia a star. But like Oscar De La Hoya, at some point of his career, he always fought somebody, right? So is Ryan Garcia willing to risk it every time and fight the likes of Tank Davis, Lomachenko, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson? All these fights are mega fights. Even a fight with Lopez. Can you picture the trash talk and the lead up for that fight? So all these fights are mega fights for Ryan Garcia. But just like Oscar De La Hoya, he has to be willing to get in the ring with these guys. And when he does, can he at least be in the fight? Because at this point, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Lopez all passed their first step-up fight with flying colors. So is Ryan Garcia capable of doing the same thing? Because last time I checked, Ryan Garcia struggled against an opponent with only 4 to 6 knockouts, I believe. I can't recall for sure. But that opponent in particular hurt Ryan Garcia multiple times in that fight with a jab. Keep in mind, Ryan Garcia was making silly mistakes as simple as leaving his chin up in the air, not keeping his hands up, not varying his offense or his hand speed, throwing all punches at the same speed without varying his hand speed, because that way you could be red. So he making all these silly mistakes, but in order for him to land on that $700 million contract Oscar has in plan, he has to correct these mistakes in the gym. And it's going to tell us a lot how he looks against Duno, if he's able to win that fight in dominant fashion or struggle in that fight. Because if he haven't corrected the mistakes that I pointed out, the hard-hitting Filipino fighter will exploit that. So Ryan Garcia has the amateur experience. He beat Devin Haney in the amateurs, I believe 3 times, and Devin Haney beat him twice. He fought Shakur Stevenson in the amateurs. However, he lost that fight. But he has the experience against top-level fighters. Matter of fact, the 2 best fighters in the U.S. at the time. But at the end of the day, did he translate it to the pros? Because in the amateurs, it's a completely different sport. The fact that they wear headgears, it's only 3 rounds, 2 minutes each. And the fact that Ryan Garcia has tremendous hand speed, it works very well in the amateurs. But in the pros, it's more timing, calculating distance, game plan, conditioning, 12 rounds to 3 rounds. And the fact that you have time to use your IQ because it's a longer fight. So you have time to figure out your opponent and make adjustments. But there's more that come into play. So Ryan Garcia is going to have to show that he's a good pro also. And to be able to land on such a large amount of money, you're going to have to prove yourself time and time again in order to do so, because Canelo Alvarez did so. He fought Trout, Floyd, Lara at some point. He also fought Gennady Golovkin at some point. He fought Cotto, and he also fought Chavez at a catchweight. But my point is, he had to fight somebody to get in that position. So Ryan Garcia has to show against Duno that he's the real deal, and it's his time to shine. If he could shine and capture the moment on Canelo versus Kovalev undercard, because we all know Ryan Garcia is the co-main event, then the sky's the limit. Obviously, Duno is not no Tank Davis, but he's a good fighter. He's a knockout artist from the Philippines. So if Ryan Garcia actually dominates Duno, we could gauge him better. And he's going to gain a lot of respect for beating Duno because he's a good prospect. That being said, it's all up to Ryan Garcia. We'll see if he's the goods. We'll see if he's the new Golden Boy. Obviously, Golden Boy needs his Golden Boys in order to maintain. So it's a smart idea for them to keep Ryan Garcia and please him and offer him one of the biggest contracts for a prospect. That being said, as far as the $700 million contract, that's looking like Mission Impossible for Ryan Garcia. Obviously, in the movies, they got the job done, but this is reality. So the $1 million question, is Ryan Garcia capable of making his dream a reality? And if so, he's going to have to prove himself time and time again. And he has his chance to do so on the Kovalev undercard versus Canelo Alvarez, since he's the co-main event. So drop your comments below. Y'all think Ryan Garcia is capable of doing so? If so, comment why so. If not, comment why not. And subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these casual fans. Follow Lunatoon Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. Follow me at Aki TV on Instagram as well. All the links will be in the description box below. Subscribe to Aki TV. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live and to be continued on the next episode of Aki TV. Peace, and we out.